In section 2.1, problem number 23, we're going to use the function value given to determine the value of the other five trig functions for the acute angle theta. So we know theta is acute, so we can use a right triangle. And our hint is that a diagram will help. So if cotan of theta is t, then I'm going to write that as a fraction because I know t over 1, because I know when I do my right triangle, since theta is acute, so I have a right angle here, and I can call either of the other angles theta. And then that means, so cotan is, remember, so ka toa, so that tells me that tangent is opposite over adjacent, which means that cotangent is adjacent over opposite. So from this angle theta, here's my opposite, here's my adjacent side, and here's my opposite side. And if it's adjacent over opposite, and I see it's t over 1, then this guy is t, and this guy is 1. So to find the hypotenuse, I can use the Pythagorean theorem. I have t squared plus 1 squared equals the hypotenuse squared. Let's call it c squared. I'll call it h. Okay. So solving for h, I get h equals a square root of t squared plus 1 squared. And that's as simple as I can go with that. I know it's positive because it's a length, it's an acute triangle, it's the hypotenuse. But I can't simplify it any further since I don't have a number for t. So that is my third side. Actually, I can simplify it a little further because I don't have to write the square on the 1. I can just say t squared plus 1. All right, so that gives us hypotenuse, opposite, and adjacent, so I can find those other trig functions. So from SOHCAHTOA, I know that the sine of theta is opposite over hypotenuse. That's the SOH, is so. And then cosine of theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. And the tangent of theta is opposite over adjacent, which is 1 over radical t squared plus 1 for sine. Cosine is t over radical t squared plus 1. And tangent is 1 over t. And then our other functions, cosecant, secant, and cotan, are the inverses. So the inverse of sine is cosecant, so that's going to be radical t squared plus 1 over 1, which I can simplify to just radical t squared plus 1. Secant is the inverse of cosine, so that is radical t squared plus 1 over t. And cotan inverses of tan, so that's going to be t over 1, which simplifies to just t. So there is my final answers.